This is the most that I've ever decorated, as it's my sister's favorite holiday and she's living with us, so I thought that I'd show you all around. I placed my little winter solstice tree in our bedroom, using the same branches, baubles, ornaments, and everything. You may remember it from last year as I uploaded a video discussing it, which will be linked below. I also stacked a few of my fabric pumpkins to create a little snowman. In the living room, I kept the centerpiece simple, with just a gnome ornament, a few bells, candles, and a miniature tree on top of a vintage doily. I placed fabric icicles and snow underneath the screen, and a pine garland on top with a poinsettia in the center. These trees were from my boyfriend's grandmother, who offered them to me when she was getting rid of some things in the fall. I tried clear coating these birds because I'm not the biggest fan of sparkles, but I didn't realize that their bodies were made of styrofoam, so they're sort of misshapen now, but they kind of just look like melted snowbirds to me. So I still think they're cute. So these little cuties are incredibly meaningful to me. They're true vintage, and I'm not sure how I ended up with them. Maybe we had some of the same decorations when I was a young child, but these were one of the things that I always remember being used to decorate my late Nono's store for the holidays. Plus, they are just so freaking adorable. Most of my holiday pieces are actually sentimental. Most of them came from my childhood and such. I personally prefer to keep my decor more seasonal and wintry than anything else, and as you may have noticed, I do avoid anything that's too Christmassy. I made this ornament last year using silver flakes and quartz points. Although I love how it turned out, it's a bit too heavy to hang on a tree, so I only made the one to be used as tabletop decor. Little teddy bear is also from my childhood, and my mom gifted me this lantern ornament a few years ago. The pine cone lights came from Dollarama, and I think that the icicle string lights did too. This little snow globe was from Walmart, as well as those birds, and it has an LED candle inside, complete with fake snow. Just stuck this little piece on top, which I removed from the little church ornament I found at the dollar store, which will be shown in a second. I had this little fox for a few years now, and think it's just so perfect. A few weeks ago I decided to tuck in a small bell and a little sprig of holly to make it a little bit more festive this year. I'm really happy with this idea and wish that I had more little boxes to do this with all of the switches, but I just stuck the battery pack under a box lid and topped it with a bow that I had saved from a gift last year. I put more pine garland around the mirror and once again added a poinsettia to the center. My boyfriend's mother made me this adorable little woodland gnome. It has a little ladybug and bell and is so cute. Plus his Nana gifted me this sleigh candle holder that she found at a thrift shop. Teddy bear is also from my childhood. And as you can tell, I have not gotten around to finishing this little gingerbread house yet. I wanted to have this Angelina ballerina book from my childhood somewhere, so I just placed it on top of his computer, but I can't decide if I should leave it open or closed. This little angel was actually from one of my friend's birthday parties in the early 2000s. I can't remember any actual details except for whose party it was and that it was probably in the loot bag. But for some reason, I just absolutely loved her and I have held on to her all these years. You can see how the little silver stars are fading from her wings, but she still has her little halo somehow, even though it's not attached. And yeah, it's just one of those things that I have really grown to love. This is actually a greeting card that I bought last year to frame because I thought it was pretty. And this holly thing was found at a thrift store a few months ago. The others in the set are floral, so I almost forgot to pull this one out for the season. It just fits in so perfect with this time of year. So this is the most melted of the snowbirds, but I think it's so funny looking and cute. Plus, I am so in love with this vintage tea light lantern that I found at the thrift store a couple months back. I think it is so darling, and I just added that little clip of the pine branches and the little melted snowbird, just to make it a little bit more decorative for the season. I also found this candle holder at a thrift store at the start of the month and think it's so cozy and cottagey and adorable. I also thrifted this pillow with a statement on it, even though I'm not really a fan of that saying at all. I think it was just way overused when I was growing up, but for some reason I couldn't resist it. I also made that decorative poinsettia pillow literally using 2 placemats, some hot glue and stuffing. I think it actually turned out amazing, and I love the pattern and how it has holly too, and that subtle gold threading. And of course, there's our tall, skinny tree tucked into the corner. I wanted to keep the ornaments as simple and traditional as possible, but decided to do a different type of topper. So I just repainted this skull and coated it with some sparkly glue, and I think it's great. Then there's just this snowman mug in the kitchen cabinet and a little snowman ornament by the bathroom sink, and that's about it. And now for my favorite part, when everything's all lit up. I truly hope that you all enjoyed and are having a wonderfully cozy day. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.